My final jump, what would I like to see? Oh, I think I would want to find out what happened to the princes in the tower. That's where I would go. Well, it's such a mystery, isn't it? Nobody knows. First of all, everybody believes Shakespeare's version and that Richard III did it, and then Josephine Tay wrote her Daughters of Time, and people believed Richard III possibly didn't do it, and then Henry VII was a prime candidate, and it just seesaws backwards and forwards. I'm not even sure that they were killed at all, so they just vanished. And Henry VII, for some reason, never made any capital out of it, from which I think everybody can draw their own conclusions. Excuse me, I need more tea. The answer is, I don't really know. There wasn't a light bulb moment when I suddenly thought, I'm going to write a book about some time travelling historians. It just didn't happen like that. I think the first stirrings were when I was taking a history A-level, and the word went out that if we didn't pass this term, that would be it, because they were discontinuing the humanities syllabus, and the whole place was going to be given over to IT, because there were lots of government grants for running IT courses, which is very commendable, but it meant that history, geography, English language, English literature, law, the non-IT subjects, were simply discontinued, and I was a little bit aggrieved about that. So I started thinking about history and ways to study it, and of course the best way to study it is actually to be there. And when you think about it, if we ever do invent time travel, what else could we use it for? We can't change anything, we can't bring anything back from the future, because everything affects the timeline. For instance, if the Mona Lisa had been stolen while the paint was still wet, history would be a lot different than it is now. So yeah, that's more or less how it shamblingly was put together. I thought it would be a lot worse. I thought I might have to go abroad and live for a while, or at least behind the sofa for a weekend or so. I did expect a strong reaction. I thought some people would like it and some people wouldn't like it. And it's interesting, there have been all sorts of comments. Some people have said they didn't read the history bits at all because they were so wrapped up in the personal stories of the characters that they skipped those bits. So much for my long hours of research, but never mind, doesn't matter. And other people said, I thought the history was a little bit skipped this time in favour of the personal story of the characters. I don't like that, I prefer the history. Thus giving rise to the saying, of course, you can never please all of the people all of the time, can you? It would have to be the history department, but if they wouldn't have me, and that's always a possibility, I think R&D would be a close second choice. Yeah, R&D is at least in its own way as exciting as the history department. No, I don't, because I prefer savoury biscuits, and let me tell you all now, if you dunk a cheese Ritz in a cup of tea, the results are not happy. It does neither of them any good. I've got a huge list of places to send them, but I can't just send them off willy-nilly. There has to be a reason for them going there. In the book that I'm writing at the moment, they go to Tudor England, 1536, the day that Henry VIII has his horrible accident and wakes up a changed man. So they go to suss that out, because although nobody dies that day, lots of people died as the result of that day. So it's one of those things where nothing seems to happen, but everything is never the same again afterwards. And something very unexpected does happen there. I'm not saying anymore. That's it. That's all you get from me. Oh yes. Yes, that carries on in the next book as well. I think she made Max a cup of tea in And the Rest is History, when Max was having her particularly bad day, but she's paying for that now in the next book. There's no way she's going to get a cup of tea made for her. Mrs. Enderby is one of my favourites as well. And I do think one day I'm going to sit down and write the story of Mrs. Mack, Mrs. Enderby and Mrs. Shaw when they fought at the Battersea Barricades during the civil uprisings. But I've got such a list of things to write about, but I really will, because I think that could be quite an interesting story. Yes, I do. Yes. I have always had Richard Armitage in line for Leon because of the voice. Oh, the voice. Markham, I see as Mark Warren. Professor Rapson has to be Bill Nighy. I always thought of Mrs. Partridge as Helen Mirren. I've never thought of anybody as Max. I don't have a clear picture for that, no. Peterson, of course, David Tennant. I always think of David Tennant. I actually think of David Tennant quite a lot. It's probably not healthy.